Hi, intrepid viewers. Dr. Lena, your in-house sociologist, coming to you from Australia and having a look at this week's madness. As the Hannibal Lecter convention grinds to a halt, I think one of the highlights has to be the arrival of Rudy Giuliani. Talk about the drunk uncle at Thanksgiving. He literally rolled down the aisle and crashed behind a few chairs. America's mayor. I mean, now, in other things, of course, the family decided to bring out Trump's granddaughter, and she did her speech about him. But you know what it reminded me of? This is gossip. This would be 5 years ago or something. Do you remember Omarosa when she was a White House staff member and then she left the White House and then she wrote the book? I think the story came from her. And Don Jr. had just sired another child. And one of the White House aides went in and went, Sir, you've got another grandchild. Would you like to go to the hospital this afternoon? And he famously said, Don Jr. has too many kids. Nice. What a nice man. God, we've got these outrageous winds at the moment. All my doors are blowing open. Oh my God. So we've got a fair bit to cover and I have to be quick. So we'll look first of all, now, the obscene court. You've got to thank Sheldon Whitehouse. He followed the money. He spent the last 3 or 4 years following the donor money. He's the one that actually has the receipts from all the Harlan Crow donations to Clarence Thomas, etc., including trips, multiple trips. That's trips with an S to Russia and all of that. Right. So he paved the way, and I think AOC and other Dems have called for their impeachment. Now, it obviously won't happen before the election, but symbolically it's important. And let's hope after the election, with a different configuration in Congress, it will go ahead. So we have that going on. It's been giving him gifts for decades, absolute decades. Yeah, like shocking. Actually, we don't have to read on that. We'll move straight on to the Aileen Cannon saga. And Jack Smith has now filed the appeal with the 11th Circuit. They are responsible for her professional behaviour. They've already identified several things she'd done wrong. So we'll have a look at the 11th Circuit, see what they're likely to come up with. Will they back Jack Smith? Someone should back this man up, the 11th Circuit. Jack Smith. I think they even have the power to dismiss her. But then, of course, they'll take it all the way up to the not-so-supremes, right? So, but it's an important step. So let's have a look. The 11th Circuit decision. Come on down. Interesting. I quite like this. So, this is their job. This is them, the Hierophant, law and order, right? Moving right along, 11th Circuit, please, House on the Hill and all of that. The problem is this case has been stolen by her appointment and her dragging the chain and her ruthless capitulation to the dark forces. This is her. Other people are walking away from her. That would include 2 of her law clerks who have left. That's interesting. They don't walk out on judges. It doesn't happen very often, and 2 have walked out on her because she's well, she's like she is. And here she is ruling her own universe, right? The negative empress can be a positive card. In this case, not. She's drunk with power. She feels she's done her job. That's it. Now, the 11th Circuit are strategizing how to be the most effective they can. I think they will call for her, excuse me, to be replaced. I actually think they will do that. But as we know, that will not be the end. But it's much better than them not doing that. So please, please. And I'd just take this moment to thank Midas Touch and others who have done such a good job keeping us across all the legal nightmares in the last few years. A big heads up to those people on those panels. Legal AF, I love Legal AF. I love the name. Wish I'd thought of it first. You know. Okay, so we don't know any more about the motive of the shooter, but a few people have commented, we want to see a political motive, but there may not be. Right? Remember Hinckley shot Reagan because he wanted Jodie Foster to notice him or something? But what I did hear during the week, he was badly bullied at school. And some of his co-students said bullied every day at school. Now, we had one big mass shooting in Australia, 1996. And a young guy in Tasmania went and shot 35 people and injured many more. It was shocking to the nation. And at the end of the day, sad as it is, he was severely bullied as a child. So I'm not saying that's an excuse to go out and kill people. I'm simply saying we are very bad as a society at helping kids who are bullied, and it wrecks their lives, even if they just become more introverted or they don't reach their maximum potential or whatever. We should be better than we are at this stuff. So I think there's a compassionate lesson, regardless of anything else in there around bullying. I stress again, in case it wasn't clear, I am not excusing the behaviour or the violence. And this is a party of violence. They can't think of the next more violent thing. They're tripping over themselves, you know. And a viewer pointed out, and I think it's a good point, it's better if we don't use the words gun control, because control triggers them, right? No one's going to control me. Okay. So maybe gun responsibility or something when people are talking about it. Not that you can reason with these people. I'm talking about hopefully next year when we have sane people in control. Okay. So just a second here. Just a moment. Sorry, bear with me. Oh, I can't find it. Sorry, video. Hang on. No, I can't find what I'm looking for. Oh, are you there? Yeah. Sorry, I'll be back. Just a moment. Halfway through the second version. You want to walk through it? Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so let's just. Sorry, I've had technical adventures today. The first video I made of this went haywire. Okay, so let's move on. I want to remind you that a few videos ago, I did a video called Battle of the VPs, the vice presidents, right? And I can't remember what I said exactly. Some of you can go and check it out. But here's the thing. I think everyone needs to be prepared for any eventuality. This is such a volatile crazy year, right? I'm not predicting anything dire or nasty per se for Biden's health or anything as such. All I'm saying is both sides are dealing with very weird circumstances and enormous pressures. So it's really important to psych yourselves up for any and every eventuality. I will say that much. Okay. All right. So we're going to move on to JD Vance. Now, I was dreading him being appointed because, on the one hand, what he brings to the table, why I was worried, was because of his background, he can talk to country people. And because of his Yale education, he can talk to inner city urbanites. And I say, oh no, this is terrible. But it seems the GOP really don't like this guy, which is interesting to me. Not the least of which, apparently his wife is Indian and one of his children has the Indian name Vivek. And these white supremacists, who are the heart and soul of the Hannibal Lecter party, are going off online about her ethnicity in a way that's really disgusting. And so he may not be the draw card that they think he will be. And also the hypocrisy. He was a never Trumper, right? He could see 4 years ago, he was perfectly clear-eyed about what he was looking at, right? And then he did that classic grovel that they seem to do. So you remember during this convention, Nikki Haley and Ron DeSantis took the stage and were booed. This is cult mentality, not a political mentality, right? The Republicans traditionally have been really good at a united front, whereas now it doesn't matter that they were only there to bend the knee and kiss the ring, not good enough. So they're fracturing, is what I'm saying. They are fracturing. So I'm just going to have a quick look here. Will they be able to pull these warring factions together, or will they splinter more as the Yeti gets crazier? Let's have a look at that issue. Okay, I'll have a quick look here. Are they going to pull together or are they fracturing? Let's have a look. Funny, they all keep getting the same 5 of swords. Okay, now let's have a look here. Now, the first card, Hangman. So the Hangman can be things not happening quickly. It can also be the new perspective. But I think it's the third interpretation, which I sort of invented a couple of years ago because it kept coming to me in personal readings for people. And the third interpretation is the willing sacrifice. I think they are going to start sacrificing people over this. Yeah. Sorry, all this stuff keeps banging. They don't know what they're doing, frankly, and they're mad as meat axes. They're howling at the moon. This is competitive viciousness, competitive loyalty. I'm more loyal than you are, right? And they're crazy. They're absolutely woof woof. Right? They're so ruthless that I'm hoping this represents, we got it before with Aileen Cannon, people walking away from them. Let's hope that's middle of the road, old school conservatives walking away from them. They do get the Queen of Wands. So that's sort of a more powerful female energy coming through. I doubt it's Marjorie Taylor Greene or Boebert or any of those. It could be, in fact, Liz Cheney sitting in the balcony going, I told you so. Not that I ever thought I'd have a good word for Liz Cheney after her father's behaviour in the Gulf War and Halliburton and all of that. However, she represents that old school Republican who I think are walking away from. Okay, so we're just going to look in at the health of the major players here, just briefly. So we'll just see what turns up here. I'll do Biden's health first. He has got COVID. So let's see. Let's see. Oh, he got the moon card too. Different meaning. I'm not saying he's crazy. You've got to remember all the cards have multiple interpretations. But for him, he did get the moon card. Now, he was stressed before, and we can only imagine the stress he's under now. Okay. Let's see. All right. Now, this is the card that jumped out. With the moon here, I think we're not hearing the whole story. I have to say this. I think it's not quite clear. I think he may be a bit sicker than we're told. It doesn't mean he's not running or anything else, but as we speak and as we sit here, I think we're not being told the full story. Well, I think he's still making this decision. He knows how important it is to stay the course, and I think he's genuinely torn. I think that is part of the sort of torment in a way. He knows he's a seasoned campaigner. We know he doesn't want to pull out, right? He knows how important that is. Here's the angel of light and mercy. So I think he is also a genuinely religious man. This is a guy who's never missed mass, right? I think he's praying about this, okay? I think he's praying about this. We all know Jill Biden is a massive influence in his life, and I'm sure she has her opinion. But I think this represents his prayers. This is the Page of Cups, which brings surprise news, right? Now, looking at this, see the fish in the cup. If you found a fish in your cup, you would be a little surprised. So I'm going to leave it there. Normally I would do maybe extra clarifiers. Is the surprise going to be he's not as well as we thought, or that he's better than he thought? I don't want to get too deeply into it because I know it's a sensitive area for a lot of you. But I will say there will be news about his health coming forward. I mean, obviously, you don't have to be a psychic to know, this is the President of the United States. Of course, everyone is looking at every possible indication about his health. Okay, we're just going to have a quick look at the Yeti's health now. Okay. Vindictive, vengeful, violent, awful. Tell us what you really think, Lena. Let's look at his health. Well, look, his health, I think, with this lover's card, he's getting more support. Okay. Now, with the Fool here, which can be all sorts of things, but it's also can be foolish, I think if you cared about this man, I don't know who does, certainly no one on this channel in the way we care about all humans, but if you were worried about him, you would be getting him to rest more now, but he won't be told. The fool won't be told. Right? So, now, the lovers is some agreement, I think, and it's right next door to the card of evaluation, right? So I think this is a medical evaluation, and we all know he's got the Dr. Feelgood, right, who says he's 6'5" and in perfect health. They're working out a deal how to spin these pentacles. I don't think he's as well as they think. Fool's gold, right? So, I mean, this is a guy who slept through Don Jr.'s speech, slept through his trial, etc., etc. But this is fool's gold. I think we're being told he's absolutely fine. The Biden camp is much more honest. Our president has COVID and do. Okay, this is fool's gold. I think there's going to be someone sent out to spread this story. He's good. He's so good, you wouldn't believe how good he is. That sort of thing. But I think he is a bit compromised. Okay. Now, a couple of cards for you guys. Let's see. Have a look here. Couple of cards for this reading. And thanks for all your comments, guys. Keep it rolling in. New subscribers, welcome. As you will notice, proudly not fair and balanced. Let's have a look. The other excellent thing Biden did recently was he wants to introduce term limits on the obscene court and ethics. Awesome. Has to happen. Okay, you guys. Come on. I hope you're looking after yourselves. Well, that's cool. So, look, with this 10 of Cups, which is emotional fulfillment, and the rainbow, of course. So, when it's not my anti-GOP card, when it's in good energy like this, don't forget to have a bit of a good time. We get very ground down by this. Plenty of people take no notice of politics at all. I don't understand that, never will. But plenty of people, even the majority, don't know, don't care. And therefore, we end up in situations like this. However, this is saying have a bit of a party. Have a bit of a party, right? That will take your head to a better space, getting out of all the choppy waters. And this could also be literal. If you're near water, near a river, the ocean, a lake, any sort of water would be highly beneficial. And don't be afraid to speak out. Now, I understand there are many of you who are blue dots in a red sea. I get that. And you've got work colleagues and relations and neighbours and partners who are in the deep MAGA cult. I'm not saying you should put yourself in an uncomfortable position, but don't be afraid to speak out and maybe find another forum to do it. If you're in that situation, go online, find other Dems in Kentucky. Oh, speaking of Kentucky, but this is, and to the rest of you who are in blue states and have got people to talk to, talk more, talk louder, love that. But before I go, now I hope every one of you is familiar with Trey Crowder, the liberal redneck. Now, I just love him. He just sits in his car, talks through the windscreen and just nails it. And he was saying 5 years ago or something, he was just starting to get a bit of a reputation as a comic. And because he has a deep, I think it's Tennessee accent, certainly a deep Southern accent. And he was doing stand-up, and JD Vance came to his show and they got talking. This is when JD Vance had some ethics, was using his Yale brain. And they were both saying how tragic and dangerous the Yeti was. Isn't that interesting? But I'll put the link up and you can see his story about JD Vance. I'll put it up in the comments and pin it. Take care, guys. Mwah. Ciao for now.